Ingram Content Group, the global leader in book distribution, basically the guys that print everything for Amazon, decided to invest once again in book and stuff.io. The team held a space to talk about this and the London Book Fair. Let's get into it. This is one of the big announcements that the team has in the pipeline for us. Earlier this month they were at the London Book Fair and they were hanging out on Ingram's booth. They took this picture with the CFO, the CEO, and John Ingram, I guess the owner of the company. It's his namesake after all. And what did they announce? Basically that Ingram is investing again. So Ingram, they invested back in 2022, and now 3 years later they believe in the vision and they invest again. They're very tight with book.io. Mint and Print is the best example of that. That hey, you print your ebooks, and who is printing them? It is Ingram directly. So it's really a strategic partner. The article is nothing really new. If you've been following what's happening with book.io, you know what it's about, but it's nice that they explain about Mint and Print here, because that's quite unique in the industry. Some nice words from the CEO. Book.io is at the forefront of developing the next generation of ebooks and audiobooks, and it introduced innovative marketing channels, advanced data insights, and new revenue opportunities. What is important here is to really understand that Ingram, everyone knows them in the book publishing world. Everyone knows them. Everyone respects them. They are like one of the biggest players. So the fact that they invest in a company is like a strong signal that, hey, those guys, they're legit. And when Ingram is saying that this is the next generation of ebooks and audiobooks, they know what they're talking about. So in the article is pretty vanilla, I'd say, but what was much more interesting was the space they held to talk about this. As always, I'm gonna go through my notes. Ingram invested in 2022 with Mark Cuban, and interesting fact, they also invested back in 2009 in Bookshout, so the prior company of Ben and Josh, which they sold out later. Ebook company with 6 million users, ebook company where they would have deals with big companies like T-Mobile and so on. So, how did it happen? Well, they're talking with Ingram about the new roadmap, the fact that now they're doing music, and so on. And Ingram decided to support them again. Josh said something about Ingram has connections with Hollywood, and I believe there's some overlap there between the video portion of stuff.io and some contacts Ingram might have. I mean, they only do books as far as I'm aware, but who knows? Books, it's IP. IPs get turned into movies, so it's also far-fetched, I suppose. So what's the plan is to add new team members, and we're talking about Ingram, how they basically got endorsed by one of the biggest players in the industry. They had the biggest booth at the London Book Fair. They flew out 80 people at the fair, so they have the money for sure. And they also sponsored the happy hour for everyone. So people, all the professionals, all the publishers at the London Book Fair, they know about Ingram. And when they will go to their booth, the biggest, they would see book.io. Then we learned that there's another investor coming, most likely announced next week. So always good to see that it's a thing. It's like, I think there's a strong disconnect between the token price action, which has been trending down for a very long time, for a year basically. And then you see industry players, people with money, people who know the industry, were like, wow, that is a great idea, let's invest. So I don't think they're gonna be disappointed. that they're gonna be like 1 year later, oh, it's trending down. It's not gonna be like that. 1 year later, they'll have 1 million users. They're like, yeah, this is a successful business. Mind you, maybe they have equity in the company, not sure how it works exactly. So they have more influence than token holders. A token is not the same as an investment in a sense. But come on, you have big companies, they're looking how to make more money. They look at book, it's disruptive, is fixing a problem we see in our own industry. Let's push them. So it's interesting, I'd say. Difference between crypto retail and big players. So what else? Oh yeah, actually this new investor coming in, apparently it's thanks to Ingram Reinvesting. So maybe someone from the book publishing world. And also thanks to that, to this reinvestment, they got more people to talk with them, because Ingram is not a VC. They don't invest to then cash out a few years later. They are building the capabilities of a new partner. They believe in what Book.io is doing, and Mint & Print is proof of that. So you have this billion-dollar company saying, hey, we have like this tech startup by building something really great that could be disruptive. Let's bet on them. And then let's change the industry and be the ones that will benefit from it. So then there were already questions. That was a good space actually for that, a lot of back and forth with the community. Someone asking if there's interest from movie studios to get onto stuff. So apparently there's conversation with a very big studio who wants to do a world premiere with stuff, similarly to what we got with the Comedy Central creator, Art Bell, with his book, which was released 1 week before anywhere else in the world. So apparently now a big studio wants to do the same. There's extremely high interest, and I quote Ben, extremely high interest for documentaries, shows, because those people, they basically just want to break even. They're not in a spot where they can even think of making profit, because streaming services, they don't pay them enough. So if they can break even and then just get some investment again, do the next documentary, whatever, that is good for them. So they're really interested, hey, how can I make actual money with my art? And actually, yeah, the Stuff.io team needs to hire more people because there is this interest of labels and studios. Then they talked about the London Book Fair. They met 35 publishers, 4 of the big 5. So everyone knows them now. I mean, 35 publishers, pretty neat. And 4 of the big 5, now the cat is out of the hat. So that was really good for that. It's an industry event. They got to meet those people who hold the IPs, who are in touch with big offers that everyone knows. Now that Book.io has the blessing of Ingram, and they talk with everyone, and soon the blessing of Big 5, then book is the thing in the publishing world. And I remember those words from Ben saying that 2 of the Big 5 told them in the past, fuck Amazon. So you can be sure that those Big 5 will push book. Which makes sense. I know it sounds crazy because we're in crypto, we're like, oh, it's niche. We almost don't believe that it can break through sometimes, because it's been 3 years and just a few hundred people minting all the time. But put a Big 5 with 60,000 ebooks, put them on their website, they put a link, hey, you can buy it on Book.io. Then it's gonna happen. Normal people will buy a credit card, create an account. Hey, I know this Big 5, I trust them. I open my account, wow, I own my ebook. And oh, they have all those other ebooks available, so I can build my library there, and then it's worth something. I move on. Also, I have an agreement with a big publisher just below the Big 5. I don't know who that is, but I was thinking lately about, I think it's called Bloomsbury. I believe they have the rights to some Harry Potter. It's a UK publisher, London Book Fair, UK. I think they're pretty well known, and I know them because my wife reads their books, their young adult romance books. Maybe not young adult, but romance books, called A Court of Thorns and Roses, something like this, which has a huge fandom. And I don't know how many books are sold, but there's a real culture about it. Like, you can find memes, people talk about it on BookTok, and I'm like, damn, if we would get someone like that, it doesn't need to be a big five, it can be someone below, but they have this very strong IP, like with really die-hard fans, like people who came from Queen Lofty's audience. Some people came, they minted because, hey, it's a collectible ebook, hey, it comes with a video of my favorite author inside, it has some extra chapters with content that is not available anywhere else. If something like that comes with an author who has a super strong following in the millions, then that's gonna have a big impact on books notoriety. So hopefully it's Bloomsbury. We'll see who else. During the fair, they talked with the Ada Lovelace estate. They will work with them to get Miss Lovelace notes, everything she wrote in her life, and compile them into a book. It's perfect for Cardano. And it's really cool if that could happen, because it's historical value and just the connection between Cardano and Ada Lovelace. Then we're talking that they're gonna be on more conferences in the next will be the US Book Show, I think in New York. They mentioned the Frankfurt Book Fair and another one that I couldn't catch, to be honest, so I'm not sure, but it's very good, because before it was just the London Book Fair, and then maybe last year this convention where Queen Lofty's was, so very niche, but now they're showing up in international industry events. Every time they show up, we have to realize that they're meeting with publishers. They're getting more things. And what is of interest to me is that they are meeting with publishers from around the world. So maybe at some stage, it's not going to be only English titles. English as in English language. Maybe we'll get something more diverse, and then we can really tap into an international community. So then, okay, they talked about, the message they were giving during the fair was that, hey, we are ready to ingest catalogs. The infrastructure is ready. Now we're building out consume to earn and the social tools, and then we're good to go. They got great response from the publishers they're talking with, because publishers, they want new channels to sell into, and they have zero presence on X. So all these people that are on X and social media in general, it's an audience that they need to tap into, so they're interested in book.io for that. Also, there's one publisher who has a big announcement to make. So with book.io, they want to do a big book giveaway, to give away potentially at an upcoming conference. By big book, they mean a book by a really famous author. So that also could be kind of a proof of concept for the industry. Look, you come to the conference, you get this author who is really famous, you get their book for free, and look, you download, you read on the app. Give people something they want to read. So the general feeling was after the fair that the tide has turned. Publishers really see that, okay, we want a new revenue stream, we want to connect with the audience, and book.io can provide that. Then they are seeing new use cases. We're talking about something called galley copies. I'm not sure if I heard that right, but basically it's the idea that before a book is released, they circulate it, I assume, to some book critics or something like that, so they can read it, and when it's out, you have the review and so on. The problem is that those are only PDFs. So you give it to some journalist or critic review, you don't know what's happening to that. So they're thinking, okay, DEA technology, we can do this, and because blockchain, we can actually lock it in a smart contract. So whoever has access can have a limited time access to it. So it was quite interesting to see that publishers come up with new ways to apply the technology. It's not going to be a big use case, but it's something that is really useful to them. And apparently there are 2 other companies, I think, that do something similar. But I guess they are not fully satisfied if they're looking into what Book.io is doing. So this is also good because then Book.io shows up as a real provider of solution to the industry players. Then we talk about Mint and Print. Approximately 65 Frankenstein copies were printed. International shipping should be 2 weeks out, and they will try to release Dracula at the same time. Mint and Print is a big hit. A lot of people are sharing their covers. All say that it's super high quality, and it does look cool, especially this one. So kind of ethereal in a sense. So you can see how the books look like, and so people are getting pretty excited about those. So 65 so far. I guess once international shipping is out, it will be more of those. Then you get the question a lot, why can't they release the full catalog? Is because, well, this was the first version of Mint and Print. It's not very flexible, some things are hard-coded, but it will be like the ebooks. Like when they released the Gutenberg Bible, it took them months, and now they do multiple releases per day. So that's how it's gonna be for Mint and Print as well, just a matter of iteration. There's a question like, hey, when we had to buy this Check D book, it was 90 USD for international shipping. It was prohibitive. Is it gonna be the same? No, this was just the publisher who decided a unique price for the whole world. They were taking care of that. Now it's Ingram. They have printing facilities all around the world. So when you order, it will choose the one that has the book available or the closest to you and calculate the price based on that distance. So it should be more affordable. There was a question whether publishers were receptive to the Stuff token. This was a good question. And they said they don't understand it yet. They will get there eventually. But in the meantime, they need to be handheld. So Book is doing it for them. Doing it for them, what I understand is they buy it and consume it on behalf of the publishers, which I totally understand. Big companies, they may not want to hold a crypto asset on their balance sheet. Maybe they're not sure how to take care of that. It's very foreign to them. Maybe they don't care so much about the technology, rather about the outcome, the solution, the service they're getting. So it's pretty cool that Book will take care of that. And that is very important because when we are talking about thousands of ebooks coming, then yeah, I want the Stuff token to be used. They're talking about Mint and Print, how it allows bundling physical and digital, and this is also completely new in the industry. They have a really big offer thing that they were talking about on the day of the space, but they just said that one sentence, so I'm not sure who is this big offer, but looks like there are things under wraps, and that this one could generate hundreds of thousands of books being ordered. So, it's that we need the big name or few big names, a big publisher, big catalog, and then it's just a normal bookstore. Simple as that. Publishers are interested in bundling because it's a new way to make money. Question about quantum computing. Can it break the encryption of books? They said from what they know, it's gonna take ages. Yes, quantum computing exists, but it's just a handful of companies with very, very high-tech capabilities, not everyday people. And if it gets there, then anyway, they developed this editioning feature, functionality, where you can swap your book for another one, like for a new updated edition. So potentially they could do that with quantum-resistant ebooks when the time comes, if they need to develop something like this. Question, how many times, will we know how many times a cover is printed via Mint and Print? Yes, it is tracked and it will be made public. So if you buy something on secondary, you'll be able to know if the actual artwork, the actual book, physical book, was printed or not. Question about printing artwork of albums, music albums. They're talking about it because they're both vinyl collectors. They actually know a potential supplier for that, so it's not impossible, but for now it's just a random idea. Question about which staff is key to scaling. So engineering, infrastructure, business development, marketing and social, and someone specific for music and film. They've been saying that music labels have been very interested for a very long time, so it makes sense that they get someone from that industry to help out. But interesting, because when you put those together, it's basically almost like a new sub team where you have the engineer taking care of things, business development, meaning finding more people to onboard, more studios and music labels and so on. Then marketing and social to onboard users. And then someone from music and film, so that's stuff that they want to develop clearly this year. Question about Charles Token. Not forgotten at all. Talking with Charles about it. So there's something coming up soon that no one will never guess. So mysteries, always like that. We never know, a lot of foreshadowing. Question about when are we gonna do aggressive marketing? The investments, like the one they got from Ingram, now those press releases are part of that. It's just the beginning. What will matter are the multi-use codes, and actually meeting the ex-marketing team to see how they can get more more users. And they have this idea to reach out to content creators and talk about a metric called revenue per fan, which apparently is not really a thing at the moment. So they kind of want to start that trend, I don't like that word, but capture the mind share, or plant the seed in the mind of people that, hey, I have funds, I create content, how much should I earn? How much could I earn? So if people could own, then they would pay for it. So that's planned. What else? What they're doing now, and especially this release of the Stuff song, it's impressive to music labels how someone random can sell out 4,000 singles in 1 hour. Everything that they're doing is impressive to labels, to publishing houses, and music labels in particular. They say music and video industries are in panic mode on how to make money. With streaming, they don't get enough. So they're really scrambling to find a solution to this. So they're very open, sounded almost a bit desperate, to be honest. And then they look at Stuff.io, and Stuff.io is basically the largest media distributor on Web3. When you look at all the books, 200,000 plus, something like that, they sold. So they're just the biggest, and they're supported by big names. Of course, for the publishing Ingram Content Group, but for media, BDMI, part of Bertelsmann Group, one of the biggest media conglomerate in the world. So it looks like they have everything is aligned, all the cards are there. Now it's just we need to get those famous people, so that then we can get their audience and other people will be more willing to try this new technology, this new platform. And finally, question about the favorite part of London Book Fair. Said that Ingram introduced them to lots of people. That the first time they were at the London Book Fair 3 years ago, I guess, or 2 years ago. 2 years ago, probably. Book was just one of the investments of Ingram. But since then, Ingram eventually decreased their investments. Those different startups they invested in, they focus more on just a few of them. And Book in particular is getting more attention. They have actual funds at Ingram, Book.io funds. And said that also what was good at the London Book Fair is that they're talking with one of the big five who is feeling that the wind is changing, in the sense that people realize they don't own the ebooks now. And they're afraid that, so if people wouldn't want to buy ebooks they don't own, then what do we do? So enters book.io. So all in all, this investment is basically opening more doors. It's going to help the company scale, especially on music and video, it seems. Some big offer thing under wraps, hundreds of thousands of ebooks being sold. That's quite, I would say, ambitious. So it looks like a lot of good contacts. 4 of the 5 big 5 also were met. Another big publisher that will be announced soon, not a big 5 but just below. So again, maybe someone with a big offer with big fandom. So it feels like this London Book Fair and this investment basically just shows that this is not crypto. This is the book publishing world, and book.io is a real thing. They have a real technology solving problems that everyone has. Everyone is trying to make more money, and book.io will give them a new revenue stream, a new channel to tap into. So book.io is here to stay. As promised last week, I want to give a quick shout out to Paso Verse project with their vision paper, which was actually minted this week on book.io. Fun fact, they took a page out of the stuff.io white paper and they picked 10 books, 10 vision papers, which will be airdropped 100,000 Paso, the token of El Paso Verse. And they picked the 10 numbers already, but only 2 were minted, the rest not yet. So if you want to try your hand at it, you may get some extra tokens. The El Paso Verse paper vision paper is 22 pages long. I read it, but I decided to ask Grok to summarize it so it will be much easier and digestible. But basically, what is El Paso Verse? It's a project led by Ryan Vilk, an actor who is a fan of Western movies, and together with the son of Louis Masterson, a Norwegian writer of Western books, more than 80 books. They want to take those stories and make them into movies. But not only that, and that's when it gets crazy, is that, you remember Pavia? Or the Clavers? All those, how is it called? Metaverse. Almost forgot the word. It's so 2021. All those metaverse projects or ideas. Okay, it sounds okay. You buy land, virtual land, you do something, whatever. El Paso Verse, they don't want meta land, they want real land, and that's where it gets crazy. Is that their goal is to create somehow an IP, a franchise of movies, and try to get as many people as possible to buy into their vision, which is let's build a town like in the 1800s, like end of 19th century, like Western type of town, an actual town. Let's build it and let's live there. And you can either live there like full-time resident, or you can just be a tourist, just wants to experience the great outdoors, come back to a time with no electricity, I guess. I'm not even sure, to be honest, but not as much technology as nowadays, for sure. If you want to experience that, just temporarily, you can go like a theme park, basically, but on a land that is so vast that you need several days to move across it on horseback. If you use the steam train, it will probably be faster. So it's completely crazy. I think it is crazy that it's like, hey, you see Disney World and their Disney dollars, whatever. So that's good, that's for kids. Let's do the same, but Western style, rough nature, rough living conditions. You go there and you don't have Disney dollars, you have Paso tokens. So the Paso token will actually be the currency to power up this whole economy. And I find that very interesting. that they're building a world for people to escape the real world. And I'm sure it can be appealing to many people. The fact that it's Western is almost secondary to me. I feel like people who just want to go back to simpler times or have this experience, to disconnect from the real world, I think, that would be the number one driver. And I'm thinking like, what a cool present it can be for someone. So instead of buying them, hey, jump, like a parachute jump or something like this, or drive a super expensive car on a circuit or whatever. I mean, on a racetrack. How about, hey, for your birthday here, I bought you a weekend in El Paso Verse, and you live like the 1800s, in the Texan desert, and you'll experience everything, and you'll maybe watch movies there or ride horsebacks, sleep under the stars. It sounds really like an experience by itself. So how do they get there? It's a 5-year plan, so quite, you need to be patient. It's not crypto, it's building a town. And so phase 1 is about community engagement, so early adopters, influencers. They did the Genesis book collection, so these are the 7 books which were released on book.io. They have their own series. If you go to El Paso Verse, you see them here. So Without Mercy is the most expensive. 2 of those, maybe the Star and the Gun and Marshall and Murderer? No, maybe this one, Rangers Honor. These were airdrops for holding the rest. So that's the first thing. This is the Genesis collection, which will give you quarterly, I think 5,000 Paso tokens. So you get an airdrop if you hold all the books. Then we're gonna start the production of motion print shorts and motion picture, so basically the first movies, do some marketing, and release the beginning of the Pasos. Pasos, it's 1 billion total, and I think 70% is in the treasury, which will be mostly used for land acquisition. So they're quite frugal with the Pasos, and they'll create the DAO. Next, years 2 and 3, global marketing and expansion. So this is pretty cool. Theatrical releases, so all those movies they did, I think they want to do 40 in 5 years. You'll be able to see them in actual theaters. They'll do some road shows. They release NFTs of the still frames of the movies, which are tied to physical film strips. So I think there'll be an ability to exchange your NFT for an actual strip of the movie. Film premieres, community growth. They target 10 to 20,000 members. And yeah, the film releases will be a way to spread the word, get more fans. And the other thing they want to do is with the film slate expansion, basically, they want anyone to be able to do movies. It doesn't have to be them. But there is a certain art direction. So it has to be historically accurate, and so on, specific type of characters, etc. So there are a lot of directions, and if you follow that, then you can produce something for El Paso Verse. So maybe we'll see some content creators doing something there. We're talking about El Paso Pass, which will give access to film streaming and some events. And then finally, yes, 3 to 5, this is the big thing, land acquisition. So basically creating a fully operational 1880s themed destination. So they need to buy the land. They don't know yet if it's long-term lease or they will actually buy. 90 million acres for towns and the hub. So yeah, a lot of acquisition. And then once you have the land, you need to develop it. So here as well, it's quite interesting how they want to do it. They basically will put out contracts. Let's say you're a carpenter. You're like, wow, El Paso is building a western town in the middle of nowhere. Like in real pioneer fashion. It's something I want to do with my life. Okay, go there. There's a contract for carpenter building something, you get paid in pesos. And then, well, you build the first shop, maybe the first saloon, and you get there and you can buy a beer with the pesos you earned, buy a meal, something like that. So, they build the town, they build the economy. So that's pretty interesting. I think they'll have also some missions like that for influencers or people to spread the word, do something. Who knows, maybe there'll be something like, hey, we have a website, we need to translate it in some language. Who can do it? Probably someone from the community who speaks English and another language can do it, earn some pesos. So it's pretty cool the way they look at it like a real currency. And sure, you can argue that, I cannot do anything outside of this world, but it's not that different from cryptocurrencies. I cannot use ADA for anything outside Cardano. I can swap it for USD and fiat and do something in the real world, but I really like the idea that, okay, we have a currency, and I could sell you something for pesos, and you could give me your pesos. It's just the kind of psychological idea that this is money. If we agree on it, that it has value, then it does. So they will be building railroads, towns, utilities. So it's really crazy. Then they want to help people with relocating there, creating businesses. They want to do immersive storytelling because it's like a theme park, so you go to be entertained. Yes. So that's wow. What a vision. It's grandiose. It's really, really, really ambitious. And then basically once they build that out, and hey, you're a Genesis holder, you get dibs on the land acquisition. You could own land in Texas, Texas, California, Spain. That's where they're looking at for the moment. So you could have land and then sell it to someone who wants to, maybe I want to have a ranch like Charles Hoskinson, but in Texas. I need land for my cows or whatever. Hey, I need to buy from someone. I need to buy from the Genesis collectors. So I wanted to take a moment to talk about this. For me, it's crazy. And it's like, I don't say that in a negative way. It's just, I didn't think such project would come that it's like, let's get together, let's rebuild society, let's build our own town. With a railway, a train station, a saloon, I don't know, like an armory, like a place to buy weapons or cowboy hats, and let's have our own money. It's like, it is crazy, but I can see the appeal for people who like westerns or people who want to escape reality. If they pull it off, it's to be such a unique experience in the world. And I hope they do. I hope they manage to do it. When it comes to new releases, they started strong with The Children of Odin, an audiobook, 400 copies, almost sold out, 80% more or less. Awesome covers on that one. Quite funny, to be honest, sometimes too. But everything that is kind of mythological is like, I feel like Billy and the art team, they have a lot of fun with it, and it just looks really cool. So that was the first, and interestingly enough, it was not part of any series. I feel like it could have been. So that's first. Then the El Paso Verse vision paper, 17% minted. Oh, quite interesting. So like 400 copies or so they have good support. Then we got the third installment in the Fan Day Trampoline series. This time they did only 500s, so they went from, the first one was 4, then 1.5, and 4,000, 1.5, and now just 500s. But still not selling so much, like 50, 60 copies sold. I bought it, but didn't watch it yet. I think just 9 minutes, so not sure what I'm gonna get. But just supporting the Fan Day team. And actually, if you held both the previous installments, you would get a discount. So they start this gamification. Then we got some some big, how to say, releases, like a lot of content creators. So these are all from the self-publishing portal. 2 from M. Bailey's 10,000 copies of 2 music singles. Book.io, Read Wild, Read Free, and the other one, Hawk on That Thing. Not sure how many were minted. It was really weird because I think there is preview available. I admit I didn't preview it, but it says that the song is 32 seconds. So is it really just 32 seconds? Like, I don't know, maybe it was more like to test the portal. I'm not sure, it's weird. Like, who would buy a 32 second song if there's no perk except listening to it? I don't know. So I'm not so sure about that one. Then we got the Challenge of Islam, 250 copies, 25 sold. This is really good. Team Dieppe, I guess it's a French city, Dieppe. He's I don't know, it's part of a Christian school, I believe. Don't remember exactly, but he wrote that book about Islam. He got some flack for it. It's kind of a sensitive topic. Some people are quite triggered by that, and I mean, whatever. I'm not gonna get political, but what I appreciate is that it's possible to publish such things, because I know in the Western world, if you're critical of some ideologies, the publishers, traditional publishers, will not take the risk of publishing your book. But now with the self-publishing portal, then it's on you, kind of, and no one can stop you, and that's very interesting. I saw some comments, people were interested in buying it. This is about the influence of Islam in the UK, more specifically. But the same, also comments about, that's not right, it's inflammatory, or hate speech, whatever. But at least it is out there. And actually someone commented like, hey, book.io, why you talk about free speech, but if someone would make a book about, how did he say that, like the colonizers killed millions of people in the last 250 years, or then there will be no freedom of speech anymore. And Book replied, write it and we'll publish it. And this answer is on point. It's exactly that. Book.io is neutral. It's like the internet. You can put whatever you want. It's on you. So yeah, if some people do not agree with that book or want to offer a counter perspective, well, buy some stuff tokens and release your book. And then try to change the mind of people, but at least it's there in the open. People are talking, debating. So that I appreciate, that this kind of book is out there. Then the last one from the self-publishing portal was Eco Chain. This one is also interesting because they're trying to raise money for some animal reservation in Africa, in particular to protect lions, as cities grow and men take more and more land, then the territory of lions decrease, their population as well. So they wrote a book, fictional but very inspired by their situation. I really struggle to speak today. To highlight their cause, and part of the revenue will go to further the cause. And this is something that the team has been talking about, that you can use books for fundraising. It's not only for the offer to make money, but something for the greater good. And then on Friday, they released a 3-hour video, which is the Apollo 11 moonwalk. And I really liked that release as well. 400 copies, 300 minted. This is really, really cool because it's historical footage and it should be preserved before it gets changed or it gets lost. We all know the conspiracy theories about the moonwalk, but regardless, I really appreciate that they're preserving historical moments. And it makes me think of the Gutenberg Bible in a sense. But hey, we got the first printed book, we put it on the blockchain. We have a big television moment for humanity. We put it on the blockchain. I like this vibe of preserving knowledge and events, because with more and more things being cancelled or rewritten, I think it's important to keep the original somewhere. And as always, a quick word on the price. On the 7 days, minus 8.86%. Is it the lowest it has ever been? Maybe like the first days. Yeah, 0.613. Yeah, we're dangerously close to the all-time low. Yeah, so the downtrend continues. This went up with ADA price. However, in terms of holders, we are quite steady above 11,000. Don't know what to say. I feel like there's just negative sentiment. And it made me think, I think it's JC Crypto who wrote on his X account, no, why aren't people buying stuff? Like, he was candidly asking people. And a lot of people said, what can I do with the token? What's the utility? It's really interesting considering that a lot of meme coins just explode with no utility at all. But it looks like then that people maybe have nothing to create. Self-publishing portal is there, but maybe they have nothing to create. Maybe they don't want to create on behalf of someone, which would be, I think, a good business idea. But then, yeah, it's true that all other use cases, it's mostly for creators, in the sense that marketing tools, analytic tools, this is for people who publish. Then for the user, it's like accessing those social clubs, tipping an artist, buying merch, buying specific books. But hey, social rooms are not set up, tipping is not set up. Maybe there'll be something about once they create their marketplace that you could pay the service fees with stuff, maybe, or maybe if you hold a certain amount you don't pay any service fees. Maybe something there. But it's true that from the user perspective, it's more to buy more content, and I feel like it's almost the use case is just to flip it for fiat in a sense. Like if you don't create anything, it's just, hey, I buy and I want to front run all the other people. I think it's not such a bad idea, because when you think that there'll be 1 million users this year and they will consume books, or one of those 60,000 books, or videos, music albums, whatever, they're gonna earn token, but it's gonna be negligible. Like, I don't remember the calculation, but it was less than 1 token every 4 hours. So if you buy now 1,000 or 10,000, you'll make more tokens than anyone else. And the difference is that at that time, the social clubs are there, and people want to enter those places and they have to pay and stuff. Or book.io takes off, and stuff.io as well, and hey, there is merch and you can buy. Or hey, if you have the token, you get some discount on secondary, where a lot of people will buy books because they want to read, and because it's collectibles that are not accessible anywhere else. So if they struggle to find the token and it's only accessible thanks to people who bought before, then yeah, I think there'll be a lot of demand for it. But yeah, the use cases as for now, it's mostly for creating, and I think it's an awesome use case. Again, I'll take this example of Stuff Revolution, the song. $15 worth of stuff. So probably not so many stuff tokens, like 2,000 maybe, something like this. 2,000 tokens, $15, I make $7,000. How many X is that? Yes, you have to put in the work, build the community, create art, but it's pretty awesome, I must say. Of course, you could have paid in ADA or in USD and do the same, but for now, it's just one brick of the whole closed loop ecosystem. And I feel like it's a matter of scale, but now it's 11,000 holders, it's nothing. End of the year it will be 1 million. And in this 1 million, there'll be people who'll be like, hey, I need more tokens to do more things, to buy more books, and so on. The last thing I want to say about that is that I feel like there should be at some point a shift in narrative that you're not somehow buying for utility, but you're buying because you believe in the company and that you want to support. I'm not saying it's the right message, but I'm trying to think as retail that, hey, if I got the opportunity, Trump, what does the Trump token do? Nothing as far as I'm aware, but because he's so popular and people want to support him, it went crazy. So I feel like maybe retail thinks like that hey, there's this platform, it's really cool, it's disrupting digital media ownership, and I want a piece of that, and my way to get a piece of that is to buy the token. If people think like that when there are 1 million people, then we go to the moon. If not, and it's just self-publishing portal, then we have to look at the 1 million books which are published independently each year, and if we get a portion of that, I don't know, 10,000, 20,000, those people use it, then you have publishers who need stuff as well to publish, and then you have music labels, and then video content creators, movie studios, and they release more and more content, and they need more and more stuff. This will also drive the demand a lot. So I feel like as users, for now the use case is not really there, but we are not the intended audience. I think we just bet on book and stuff, the same way as multi-billion-dollar companies who also believe in this startup. But I feel like we'll most likely just hold until it reaches a certain amount and then sell it to those people who want to create content. And because the price of creating the fee is pegged to USD, it's not even price gouging in a sense, because maybe $40 for an ebooks is like, I don't know how many tokens now. Not in ADA. Yes, maybe in ADA. Okay, so let's do 65 ADA, more or less. So you need, let's say, 7,000 stuff tokens to publish your ebook. Now it's 7,000. It's $40. And if stuff does a 10x, then you'll need 700. But it will still be $40 for you. So that's a great thing that they pegged to USD. So the creators, they're not suffering from any volatility. And on the other hand, people who held, they will benefit from the increased demand. How long is it gonna take? I don't know. I feel like this year will be pivotal because 1 million users, we're gonna get there. That's for sure. The big music labels, they have the big offers, the big 5 publisher. Book, especially book, will be on the map at the end of the year, will be an actual platform to buy ebooks. Maybe not very famous yet, but they will get there. And then all those independent offers who will get there, buy the token, that will create demand, and we'll see what happens then. And that's it for this week. Ingram reinvesting again in stuff.io, another big publisher coming, another investor we will learn about next week. Other big things, some big offer plan, some music label as well. As always, a lot is coming on the business development side, and it's the prerequisite to have the people. We need the catalog. No one's gonna come to buy one thing and use an app to read one book. So they're building the music side, the book side. They're getting known in the publishing industry, so they get even more and more content. They're scaling up, hiring more members. So I feel like this year they're really kind of beefing up, getting stronger, getting content on the shelves, and then boom, multi-use codes, boom, big giveaways, and then artists coming, music artists with lots of followers, big offers coming, and then the audience will come, and that will be the turning point. All right, that is all for this week. Thank you for watching. Take care and see you soon.